Okay, we here. We here. Oh yeah. Hit the wrong button. I got a little trigger happy.
I know, man. It's all good. Hey. We have $1 million budget working with here, guys. We got all the programmers in the background. They're working on stuff every day.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we're going to be doing it, man. Live and direct. Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of the Blu-XPerience. Welcome aboard, guys. Glad to have all you guys in the stream and the chat, both on Blue's stream and my stream and on Twitch as well.
Yes.
Welcome aboard, guys. Yeah, it's that time of the week again where we put off flying for an hour. I think we could do that.
Yeah,
and just sit down and talk about Flightsim.
You guys can fly, but we're chilling. We're your in-flight entertainment today. If you're flying right now.
I know, exactly. There you go. If you're in a long haul or a short haul right now, pop it up. If you're flying the Flightsim A340, you can literally watch it in the cockpit on the EFB.
That is true. That's freaking true. Man.
But yeah, it's that one time of the week where we get to actually talk as a community about what's going on, what took place last week since we last spoke to you guys. If you guys have any suggested topics in the chat, always feel free to drop them. No big deal. We got a list of stuff that we want to go through and talk about that we feel is relevant. But hey, we don't know everything. If you guys got something else to say, put it in chat. As always, we'll try to read the chat while we're talking. So that's what we're doing, man. So we're here. Blu-XPerience is in the house.
Yes,
Blue,
sir.
How's your week?
Before we get there, we always have to do this. I feel like it's a tradition now. What are you drinking over there?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm rocking something mysterious here. In this glass, you have the Jamaican Appleton rum mixed with ginger ale and iced tea. A little splash of flavor, no ice, because ice will be distracting. But anyway.
Okay, but for me, you know me, I'm always, yeah. Today, we got this baby here, Lean Body. I'm not sure you guys see that.
There you go. Nice.
It's out of focus, but still, it's basically a protein chocolate drink. So, got to get my protein in, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what I'm drinking today. But yes, so it's been a good week so far. It's been very busy. Man, yeah, it's just been busy. I don't even know how to express it. It's been good though. I've been blessed. I've been thankful to be able to, you know, to stream and be able to know people like XP, you know, to hang out with on shows like this. So definitely be looking forward to today. Looking forward to talking with you guys about everything Flightsim and what's been going on this week. What are you excited for? You know, what things have come out? There's been a few releases recently and some controversies as well. We'll definitely be getting into all those things, and we're all definitely excited about X-Plane Next Gen, as well as the future about Microsoft Flight Simulator. So much to talk about, so much to chill. You know, I mean, it's good to be able to sit back, relax, not have to worry about controlling the aircraft. You know, when we're streaming, you know, flying a CRJ or something, we're like, oh no, what happened to auto throttle?
Yeah, talk about flying, man. How was your week in streaming? Let's see. There's your general week. How's the streaming week?
Streaming week. What did we do this week? Like, I literally don't even remember what we did. Oh, we flew the Husky, the Aviat Husky Microsoft, out of freaking nowhere. I don't know if they ever mentioned this, but they released a new general aviation tail dragger aircraft called the Aviat A1C Husky. And when I first saw it, I was like, it's like a tail dragger. We already have like 4 of those plus like some free ones. So what's the point of this one? But I mean, if you guys follow me at all, you know that I do love me some GA flying. We went flying in freaking Iceland. One of the most beautiful flights that I have ever done in Microsoft Flight Simulator was in Iceland. I think that was yesterday actually. So yeah, it was cool. I love the plane, and yes, I would definitely recommend it if you're into tail draggers and general aviation. What about you, man?
My streaming week? Oh, I just planted a MD-88 on 8 right in Vegas last night in the dark. Yeah, and I said planted. I mean, like Spag has a strut repair business every time I land that plane.
Are you saying that your roots are now in Vegas?
My roots are in Vegas, man. That was yesterday's thing, man. Started off beautifully as usual. Figured out the plane somehow again. Did a power back courtesy of V1Sim from the gate, but we ended up planting it in Vegas in the dark. So. Hey, you know, it's streaming, man. It's how it is. It's flying.
It's entertainment, bro. It's entertainment.
If any one of you guys tell me your flights are always butter at every landing, I won't believe you. Except maybe one guy, Captain Canada. But the rest of you guys, nah.
I feel like Captain Canada is like the only person in the whole flight sim community who probably butters everyone, even in the dark, even when we're not watching. Like, he's the one that just like butters it every time. That's what I think. That's the perception I have of Captain Canada.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
A Wally person says we should have Captain Canada on one of these streams. Hey, why not? Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, man, he's a cool dude, man.
We should bring him on. Absolutely, make it an hour of blazing chat. But, yep, that's streaming week for both of us. That's our week in general.
You know, tomorrow I'm actually doing a long haul.
Oh, are you?
I'm
Where
actually
you going?
I'm attempting to do a long haul tomorrow. So I'm already running through some hurdles, getting the stream set up. Matter of fact, I wanted to get it scheduled like hours ago, but working through some Microsoft problems.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I can still come through with it, and that's the goal. That is the goal.
Yep.
So we'll see.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, without further ado, let's get into it, man. All right, guys, we're gonna say one word here. Well, no, two words. Jar A340. Let's just say that right there.
What do you got?
That just dropped on us. How many days now? Been about 4 days.
Been up.
No, actually about a week.
It's been about a week. I think it came out on Friday.
Yep, came out the day after we did the last Blu-XPerience.
Yeah,
Jar
yeah.
A340. What do you guys think in chat, man? I want to know.
Yeah, let
Jar
us know.
From what you've seen before, from what you've seen other people fly it and feature it and donate and whatever, I want to know you guys' opinion because I have some opinions on it. I did call up, I call up Gio and some other one of my simming buddies. I'm like, hey man, A340, what do you think? Should I get it or should I not get it?
So before you answer that though,
oh boy,
do you have it?
No, that's the thing. I asked and I was a mouse click away from going, $60, here you go. Give me this plane. I was honestly, I went back and forth because I have the A330.
Yeah. And
based on my research, the A330 and the A340 came out at the same. As a matter of fact, they developed them side by side, just like how Boeing did the 767 and the 757.
Wow.
So the A330 and the A340 were developed in the same way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro, learn that. Trust me, homework.
Homework.
Yeah, and so they look similar in the cockpit, minus a few things. You know what I mean? And I because I love the A330, I was going to give the A340 a shot, but it's one of those planes that I'm like, hold on a second, we could give it a week. It's not going to go anywhere. Let's give it a week. And the other reason why, the looming plane on the horizon is the Tolis A340.
That is true.
Maybe if the Tolis wasn't coming out, you understand, I would have gotten it. But anyway, I've seen some people fly it and I've seen some people enjoy it, but I've also seen some not so good things about it.
I've seen a few people get jarred. Yeah.
There you go. Jarred is a word.
A few people got jarred. That's a new word. That's a legit word now in the flight sim community as of a few days ago. People getting jarred. But yeah, I think for me, when I saw it come out, I was like, XP is gonna fly this plane. I'm serious. When I saw it, I was like, huh. XP is definitely gonna fly this plane, but then I was like, but wait, is Jar Design? Now let me say this first, because if you guys have been in flight sim long enough, you know that Jar Design and his products, he's OG. Like he was the original Airbus developer. Like not like like he was before Tolis, before Flight Factor came out with their amazing Airbuses. We had the Jar Design A320 and the Jar Design Ground Handling Deluxe. That was the ish back then. I remember when I first got into flight sim, like Jar Design was what everybody was flying. That's what everybody wanted. And I was flying it. I was loving the heck out of it. It had all the amazing, the cabin sound. That's my favorite part about it. But today is a completely new day and different day in the industry, the market. The community has all changed drastically since then. Now, again, we have a Tolis that has taken the Airbus and the Airbus systems to a whole new level, as well as performance, which is actually what Flight Factor did originally. When they first came out with the Ultimate 320, they changed the game. They went to the next level. And the Tolis came out, it was like, it was like, they was kind of balancing. And then lately, Tolis with the 19 and the 21, it just kind of like shot up in quality. And that's really, I think, most people's preferred Airbus to fly. And the fact that they've announced that they're making an A340 and somebody else releases one, and the best quality plane that like Jar has that we know of is like the 330, which you've been flying, has a nice sound pack, and it's it's not a horrible plane. I wouldn't say it's a bad plane. It's better than like all the Microsoft planes. But when it comes to X-Plane and how all the developers are taking it to the next level, we're at the INIs, Flight Factor's trying to push themselves as well. And everybody. And so it's like now Jar Design is kind of behind the ball. And so for them to release that A340, and I know it's only been a week, and I hate to say it again, we're really, I would say, unbiased in this show because, again, I like them, but at the same time, I think that it's going to bomb. I hate to say it, but I think the Jar Design A340 is going to bomb. I've only seen, it's crazy because whenever a big release of a big airliner plane, especially a heavy jet, like something you can do long hauls in, everybody's
Yep.
flying. Like when that beluga came out, that freaking beluga, that whale came out, everybody, every stream you saw online, everybody you that was talking was flying it except for me. I don't think you flew it either, actually.
No,
Yeah,
NB.
except for
Yeah,
us.
right.
But everybody's flying. When the A310 came out, when the A300 came out, what do you see? It everywhere. And that doesn't mean that that makes it successful. It just means that it's been proven. People have seen like one streamer do it, like, oh, this plane is really good. Or they see the, all the intricacies is going into it. And like, okay, this is really, really legit. But Jar Design really didn't lead up at all to the A340. Like, it really didn't hype it up. So I think even marketing wise, it kind of failed on that end too. So, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to a lot of creators, but I didn't really see them really send it out to anybody. Like, hey, can you fly this on a stream and test it and check it out and show people what it is? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in this day and age, if you're a developer, if you're developing anything for Microsoft Flight Simulator, software or even hardware, you need to get these things in the influencers' hands. You need to get them into creators' hands and the streamers' hands. Let them try it out. Let them give you feedback. And that feedback may not always be good feedback, or it's gonna be, it's gonna be constructive to help you get it better and let you know, hey, these are the things that we want, that we expect. And if you do not deliver these things, it's gonna get roasted. Like, seriously. So.
It's true.
Yeah, so that's what I think with the 340. It kind of didn't do too good with the marketing part, and I just think that it just wasn't as high quality as everybody is, kind of expecting now with all the Airbuses. I mean, we've had a ton of Airbuses come out. We got the 300 series, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Listening to you talk about it, just something rang in my head. I'm like, all right, so I had the A330, and I like the plane. I've flown it many times. I know it's not a high fidelity airplane, but I give it that because it's been out a long time. It's the only one we have. And I'm like, it's decent enough. The MCDU can manage the LNAV and VNAV, or manage descent and climb and all that stuff. It works for the most part. It's not high fidelity. You understand? It's just a workable Airbus wide body plane.
Yeah.
So it's been out forever. So I'm like, all right, I'll give this A340 a shot.
Like since X-Plane 10 maybe? Or is it that old?
X-Plane 10, exactly.
Is it like 777 old?
Yep.
Yeah,
but
I think it is.
The more I looked at it, I went, the jar literally just ripped off the graphics from the A330 and the systems from the A330. And all they did was design a wing and an additional 2 engines and called it a day.
And I'm sure he touched the flight model
they
too.
did?
I mean, let's give him a little
That's
credit.
the thing.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying he had to.
I am hoping that's not what they did, because if that's what they did, that's definitely an insult to the community.
Oh, yeah.
As you said, in 2021.
Yeah.
You could get away with that 2 years ago in X-Plane because there's nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I think with INI, Tolis, and the like stepping up the game, you could at least done something a little bit different to say, hey, I'm here too. Or is just one of those grabs, hey, Tolis is going to come out with the 600 version, we'll just drop the 500 because we can. Yeah, but I watched my man Shaquille Oatmeal flying it.
Mm-hmm.
He ran out of fuel and it crashed. Not the plane crashed, the simulator crashed.
Oh, the whole sim crashed?
Yes, he related that again. And as soon as it runs out of fuel, the sim crashes. That's it.
Wow.
I could be wrong. You understand? So, like, how do you not test that? How do you release that and not do that? I know development requires work, but from what I know, the A330 and the A340, same body. Same similar cockpit setup, everything, except for the throttle quadrant and the engines now. See, there's some work to do, but it's not like building a plane from scratch, in my estimate.
You have a base to start with, right?
You have a base to start with. So I am glad I held off on it, and I was not going to give up hope. I was like, all right, maybe they'll improve it or whatever the case may be. But it turns out, man, they just, it's one of those things you were talking about last week about not having respect for the flight sim community.
Yeah.
That's legit. Like, I don't have respect for anybody right there.
And that hurts me to even say that
about
about Jar, because I have so much respect for him. Because again, when I first got in the flight sim community back in X-Plane 10, right. Jar was again, he was a big name, he was a big deal. He was making the big high quality products everybody was expecting. And so for today, him to come out with a product that we feel is not fully respectful of the community, right? Like, accusing him of that makes me like, ooh, do I really want to say that? Like, I mean, again, I want to give a disclaimer because neither of us actually own this plane. We're basing this off of stuff we've seen from other people's live streams and things like that.
Let me say, I've gone over to the forum and I've read the forum chats as well.
Oof.
And just to make sure that what I'm saying to you guys on stream right now is not something that I'm picking up like second party. I've gone and see the complaints in the forum about it. And this is me who recommends the jar ground handling. I like the jar ground handling. You understand? I use that. I fly the jar A330, as I said before. I even bought the A320, damn it. Flew it a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, you know what I mean? And I will continue to fly the A330 because it's one of my favorite planes to fly. But the A340, considering where we are in 2021 and other developers coming out with some stuff, and knowing that when Tolis gets it, you know Tolis is not going to just put out a plane that's just
gonna
like,
be crazy when Tolis drops theirs.
you know.
Yeah.
Yep. So hey, man, that's basically it hurt me to see that. You know, it's a plane that I would have loved to fly, but I'm like, yeah, I'll hold back a little bit on it. I mean, you guys can buy it and fly it. You know, maybe there are going to be updates to fix and remedy all these situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Microsoft around, that's taken half of the attention away from X-Plane, and other developers dropping stuff. I don't think you can come second rate anymore.
I agree.
You know, I think with it's not just X-Plane and P3D anymore. It's Microsoft, right?
Yep.
There's Microsoft. You understand? There's so. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, man. Jar, reach out to me, bro. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. You know, we'll help you with it and see. But
I got a good question in chat real quick. It's kind of a side tangent, but still on the same subject. Somebody's asking, do you think we will get more airliners? I'm assuming for X-Plane. And also, do we think that the prices will go down on the X-Plane store for X-Plane aircraft and add-ons? Or do we think that the bar has been set with pricing on X-Plane and it's going to stay there? Or due to competition and there being so many different types of, you know what I mean? Like, is demand going to eventually, like, I don't know. My opinion, I don't think it's going to change. But what do you think?
I don't think it's a great question. I think that because Microsoft, I think, and I've always said it from day one, if you look at the sceneries in Microsoft, the pricing is lower generally.
Oh yeah,
a little bit lower, $5 to $10, €5 to €10 lower, because it's such a bigger base, and a lot more people are going to buy it. So the developer has to make coin, right? They got to make money. That's what they're doing it for. Yeah. With X-Plane, it's a smaller install base. So to recoup all that work that they put into it, the price is going to be a little bit higher. So I think you're right in terms of, I think the prices of the planes that we're seeing right now, about $70 for a like top of notch plane. I think that's going to remain. I don't see it coming down. And, you know, I'm not mad at it. It is what it is, but I don't see it coming down.
Yeah, I don't see prices for airliners coming down on X-Plane, but I kind of partly feel like maybe scenery on X-Plane might come down. Because, I mean, even though it's a different platform, it's still in a way competing with Microsoft. And with Microsoft coming out and everything being so much cheaper, it's like you go on X-Plane and you pay for the exact same scenery. Are they going to have it at a different price? Because a lot of developers now, they're releasing the same scenery on all three platforms, which is a crazy amount of work. But they're doing that. And so it's like, do you set the price low on all three platforms, or do you set it higher on one and lower on the other, or what do you do? So I don't know. I personally lean towards the lower pricing because there's a lot of scenery. It doesn't matter what platform you're on; you're paying for a lot of scenery. So it's good to be able to pick up as much as you can. You know what I mean? Because it adds up really quickly. People will keep saying, I think we say this every week, but this hobby can be very expensive.
Yep. Yeah, Dimitri just said in chat, as long as X-Plane flight model is superior to Microsoft, the X-Plane airliners will be more expensive.
Yeah.
And V1Sim agreed to it. So
I agree with that.
I think so too. I think so. And I'll pay for it. I would say that right now. You guys do support these developers, and we'll continue to support them because you're putting some planes in your hands that go, wow. You know what I mean? So it was sad to see what they did to it. Just try something a little different, man. Not just say, hey, let me port what I already have with a with a new plane that's same as the old one. You know what I mean? Like you got to do a little bit better than that. So hey, man. But which leads to the next question. The next question on this, since we were talking about it, here's the deal. With the addition of new planes in X-Plane, we know the ones that are coming up: the A340 by Tolis, the MD-11 by Rotate, and a bunch more GA jets and airlines coming out. 777, 787, all that stuff. With all those new planes and
A380 too, right? Or no, am I tripping?
Yeah, I supposed to be building A380. Am I wrong on that?
I think so. I think we're getting A380. It's crazy the fact that to know that X-Plane 11 has been around this long, and we still never really got a good quality A380. As popular that plane is all over the world, I'm surprised. And it's now like, I believe it's like decommissioned, right? They're no longer building those anymore. So now I feel like it'd be easier to get your hands on the the technical information you need, because usually when a plane goes out, like when they stop like producing, it makes it easier to get that plane to like people like developers to create that virtually, because it's no longer
there's lots of A380 parked in the desert now.
Yeah.
Fortunately, no shade to the A380, but we throw shade on this channel for some reason. Lots of them parked up.
A lot of shade going different directions.
I know. I'd love to get my hands on fly one. I know. But the question is this: with all the new planes and sceneries coming out for X-Plane, still, will this make you stay with X-Plane longer, even though Microsoft is here and there's going to be a lot of products coming out from Microsoft? Will the new developments that are coming to X-Plane make you stay with X-Plane longer, or you're like, you know what, X-Plane is done, I'm good, I'm just going to go to Microsoft as soon as my favorite plane comes over there? What do you guys think? Are the new developments for X-Plane keeping you guys around, or are you going to stay around anyway regardless? You know what I mean? That's kind of like my question. What do you guys think?
I think for most people, they're going to say yes. And I think for me, it's a yes, too. I think with all the new planes coming out, even though I really haven't bought a whole lot of them, because I've been kind of invested into Microsoft lately, like I've been kind of putting my stocks in Microsoft a little bit. I got a little bit more stock in Microsoft than X-Plane right now. So I've been building up stock for years in X-Plane. But now I'm kind of starting to invest in the Microsoft, so it's kind of like it's building up. So, but when Microsoft first came out a year ago, I was like, well, maybe it's time to sell. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to get rid of all this stock and just, delete all my ortho, delete all my stuff. I actually did delete half of my, probably like 40% of my ortho. I actually deleted it. I'm not kidding. It's in like parts of the world that I like never fly in. And then I deleted like half of my planes, because I have a lot of planes that I don't fly. And a lot of GA planes mostly, because I just don't really fly a whole lot of GA anymore on X-Plane. But anyways, point is, back to the question. I think that with all the new planes coming and being excited about those, it definitely makes me want to fly X-Plane more, because if you buy an $80 plane, you're gonna fly the heck out of it, or like you feel like you have to at least give it a try, learn the systems, learn how to fly, how to use it. And obviously, since I stream, I'm gonna stream it, so I gotta make sure that that investment pays off in enjoyment and time and and everything. So yeah, it definitely for me. But scenery though, I don't know. Scenery is a touchy thing for me, because I don't think I've bought any scenery for X-Plane since Microsoft has released. That is the longest I think I have ever gone without buying X-Plane scenery since I've been playing X-Plane. I'm like, I'll probably buy scenery. Before Microsoft came out, I probably was buying scenery for X-Plane at least maybe once a week, every other week. Like, it was pretty often, because I was like, all right, I want to fly to this place, or this new scenery came out, or this and that, And so now it's like, well, if I want to get scenery, I honestly want to get it on Microsoft. That's just me. But yeah, it's so. Well,
brings up a side question: is the scenery market for X-Plane dead? Planes are coming out, but is there anybody developing scenery for X-Plane now that you know of? Any new scenery coming out?
No, I think people are still releasing. I'm seeing scenery come out on X-Plane daily. Right. Are people buying it? That's the question. I don't have the statistics on that. I would love to see it. I don't know how you get that data, but I just would love to see how many people are actually buying scenery for X-Plane now, and compared to how much they were buying a year ago. Because I'm seeing the scenery come out. And I'm like, man, why didn't you make this for Microsoft? Like, that's my thought process every time I see a scenery come out for X-Plane or even P3D. I'm like, why the heck did you not put this on Microsoft? And I get all pissed off and I don't buy it. But I'm just being honest with you guys, seriously, man. But yeah, I don't know. I feel I wonder. I do wonder how. I know developers are still putting time into it, because if you're getting new airliners, you want places to fly them, right?
Yep.
You don't want to just get a brand new, beautiful freaking airplane and then fly it into some ugly default scenery. You want to fly that beautiful airplane into some beautiful scenery.
That is so true.
You know what I'm talking about? And so, like, if you, I feel like they both go hand in hand. If new, beautiful, great quality airliners are coming out as they are, then people are going to keep buying scenery, whether it's the same old scenery that's been out for years. Like, they're still buying that same Atlanta, that same, DFW, the same LAX, because those are the most popular places. people still buying scenery because they want to fly those planes to those places. So I think that it probably has dropped, but I think that people are still buying it. But I wonder what people in the chat are thinking about buying scenery next plane.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I've been on a scenery break myself. Other than sceneries that developers reach out and say, "Hey man, here's my scenery, can you fly it?" And be like, "All right, sure, I'll check it out." I really haven't bought anything, Well, part of the reason is this. Let's be honest. I've looked for scenery in X-Plane of places I want to go, and there's none.
Hmm.
So I checked the
Not even
org
free.
forum. Exactly, and I checked the org forum, and it's something that was done since X-Plane 9.
Yeah, I
Come on,
find that
man.
happening
Yeah.
a lot. I'm like, are you serious? Nobody has redid this airport since X-Plane 9, and I'm like, no, I'm not
Right.
downloading that.
Exactly. I'm like, this is just an insult, right? At this point, my beautiful ortho is going to end up in some crappy default, what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. V1 had a question in chat for you, Blue. So I got a question for Blue Games. Since he's in Microsoft a lot, does he feel Microsoft is a console sim ported to work with PC or a PC sim first?
Ooh,
oh boy,
that's a big question. So basically, is this a PC game or a console game? That's the question. That's the short question.
Right now, as it is,
right now.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so hard to answer. It really is, V1. Dang, why you gotta ask me? I mean, dang, I don't know. I don't even know. I really don't. I mean, last week we talked about how like nothing was a simulator, so now my mind is like gone. I would say today, if you're flying the right plane, yes, it's a simulator. I don't know. I think that Xbox and Microsoft are smart, and when they built this sim, in the beginning, they had in mind they wanted this to be on Xbox. That was the goal. Like, even though PC, we got it first, I believe that they were like, yo, whatever we do, make sure that in the future we can make this work on a console. Even though, they said, I remember watching and listening to interviews with them saying that, we're making this for the flight simmers. They kept saying that, right? I see your face already. They're like, yeah, we're making this for the flight simmers, and that made us feel all nice, warm, and fuzzy on the inside. We're like, yeah, they're making it for us. They're making it for us. And then the Xbox finally comes out, and then they do the thing that we're supposed to talk about that later, but they do the thing where it's like, I feel like they're downgrading a sim to make it work on the Xbox, but then us on PC are getting a downgraded version too. So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of controversial. I really don't know how I feel about it completely yet. I feel like I need to really put all the puzzle pieces together, and we'll get back to that, I think, later. What was the actual question? The original one.
And it's going to bear out. I think the answer is going to come sooner than we think. Absolutely sooner than we think.
Before we move on, I feel like it's going to come down, like we mentioned before, it's going to come down to the third-party add-ons. That's going to make it feel like a game or make it feel like a sim. I don't think it matters what they intended it to be. Like, I do a lot of GTA references, and GTA never intended to have a massive role-playing community. Right? They made this game that was supposed to do what they wanted to do, and then some other people had a completely different idea, modded it, and it's a completely whole new community around it, probably even bigger than GTA multiplayer community. And so I think with Microsoft coming out, giving us a platform that may be semi-realistic, now giving the developers the tools and the SDK and the transparency to take a 737, a study level 737, or a study level A320 into the sim, at that point, we will be able to play the game as an actual sim as we would like it to be. So that's what I think.
It's true. Let me just wrap up this part about the staying with X-Plane.
Yeah.
I have a plan. I have a grand plan.
Oh boy.
For simming with X-Plane and Microsoft. Right? Eric, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Look. Thank you, Eric. Look, my grand plan is this. Right now, if you guys notice, no matter how much I try, I still am flying X-Plane 70% of the time, and Microsoft 30% of the time. And it's not by choice; it's out of necessity. Because if it's not the A320 mod, it's either going to be the CRJ, which has issues right now. You can't even fly it now; it's still broken. It's broken. You can't fly it. The 787, which I loaded up the other day, I was going to do a 787 flight, and it crashed right out the gate. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this. Exactly. Wow. I saw you fly the 74, and you made it work, and it was good. So my grand scheme is to do 50-50. That's what I want it to be. But not until those planes are there in Microsoft that I can fly, it's going to be 50-50. So it's going to remain 70-30.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? Um, I I have no plans of going away from X-Plane, especially if what they're showing us in the previews to come for the next generation of it, it's going to look like it look and operate like it operates, and we already know how it flies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but I would be a 50-50 guy, man, for both. I would run home from work every day going, man, what am I going to fly today? Which one? Zebo or PMDG? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Or Phoenix or Tolis? Or you know what I mean? That's where I want it to be, but I don't know.
I think
And
a
the
lot of my
reason why,
mindset, sorry,
Mhm.
not to cut you off, but a lot of my mindset right now when I decide on a flight is where do I want to go and what do I want to fly. So like if I don't have ortho in an area on an X plane, then I will do that flight on Microsoft Flight Simulator. If I do have
Yep.
ortho for it, then there's no reason for me not to do it in X plane because with ortho, it looks just as good.
True. Yeah, it does with ortho at altitude and X-plane, the ones that you generate yourself.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I said this before and I'll keep saying this. For you guys who say Microsoft already has built-in ortho, and that's the reason why I'm done with X-plane, do yourself a favor. If you had already have X-plane and have all the add-ons, you need to get orthophoto done. A 2 to 4 terabyte hard drive, the old school spinning one, costs nothing these days, like
Yeah, that's
30, 40
true.
bucks, if that much. Spend the time, download it to that one drive, link it to your main X-plane drive, and fly. Flying without ortho and X-plane, you might as well forget it. I would never do it.
I
Like
wouldn't
my eyes,
either.
my eyes would just fall out of my head.
Except there's
Yeah,
one exception. And that is at
right.
night. That is it. Only at night. It's only okay to fly X-plane default at night.
You can't tell the difference anyway. So
You won't see
you know what I
it
mean?
anyways. The
You won't see
runway
the difference
textures look
anyway.
exactly the same.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of graphics, let's talk about this, guys. So the big update came out for Microsoft Flight Sim, which is the version 5, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And I am raving about the FPS gain I've had. The sim is smoother,
Mm-hmm.
no more stutters as such. Yeah, it's got issues they're working on. And I was like, yo, they did some real work here to get this thing to run good on PC now with a low end spec that I have a 1070 or whatever.
Yep.
But here's a question. Did Microsoft really recode some of the sim to make it FPS friendly? Or did they reduce the graphics on the sim to make it FPS friendly? And I saw this a few days ago and I was like, what? Yes, sir. It seems as if, and they know about it and they acknowledged it and they're going to be working on it. Based on what I've read up to today, Microsoft reduced the graphics on Microsoft Flight Sim for PC to gain the FPS gains that you guys are seeing. Not making that up. That is a true thing. And a bunch of guys noticed it. And the guys who went out and spent a lot of money on graphics card,
And PCs.
RTX 3080s and PCs and stuff like that goes, wait a minute, hold on. Why is my sim looking worse now with better frames? And they tried to go and tweak it in the simulator settings and it wouldn't work. It didn't look any better. Turns out some guys did some investigation. The draw distances have been drawn down. The load distances have been drawn down. The texture quality has been backed off on. And they reduced the graphic. So
Wow.
my question to you guys is that what do you feel about that? Is that, I'm not even gonna say ethical, it's their game, they can do whatever they want to do, but was that a mistake or was that intentional? And is that right? You know what I mean? So that's my question. Because I'm sure damn well be pissed off if X-Plane ever reduced graphics as much, to give me a better frame. I don't want that.
Uh,
You know what I mean? So, yep, yep, yep. V1 says he loaded in today, and it was very obvious
uh,
that, yep, from the system settings that they did. Dougal's like, yep, there was both. They did some coding, but they also reduced the graphics. I mean, Londa said that was a mistake. Was it a mistake, really? Daryl says, welcome to Microsoft.
my first
Yeah.
Sim Update 5 stream I did last week, somebody brought it up in the chat, and I didn't believe him. I'll be honest with you. I didn't believe him about the graphics quality downgrade because I didn't think I was seeing it. because I mean I've always run on bit of a lower quality, not low quality, but like it's just like not ultra, right? I'm not maxed out on any of my graphics at all, so I've never gotten like that super crisp high quality. Plus my internet is not great either, so like I'll see the blurriness anyways, even in the past version. So when Sim Update 5 came out, I didn't see a difference, and I feel like a lot of us who may have lower end computers or maybe even not as fast internet, like we may have not have noticed that issue. But like you said, for people who spent thousands of dollars on a brand new PC just to run Microsoft Flight Simulator, back when it came out or like within the last year, and then they come in with the update and everybody's like raving about, oh yes, I got way better FPS and this and that. They're like, all right, well I didn't never have a problem. You know what I mean? They're the people that didn't have FPS issues, but now they're upset because because now it doesn't look as good as it should. And I get it. I'd be pissed too if I were in that same boat. But I apologize for people I didn't believe before because I didn't realize. I did see an article too about the difference, and there's supposed to be an additional hot fix. I think this is like not the first, but like one of the few actual big updates that came with multiple hot fixes within a couple weeks. And it's crazy how broken this update came. The fact they needed to update and do hot fixes that often. But I saw they're going to be doing a hot fix to try to fix that. And my question is, as well as like you said, if they lower the graphic quality in order to get that performance boost, if they're going to fix that, are they going to now higher that graphic quality and we're going to lose that performance boost again? Like, is this week of heaven in Microsoft Flight Simulator coming to an end where I'm going to go back to 25 FPS flying in New York again? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, can I keep this version? Can we go back to how X-Plane is where you get to keep the old versions of the game and not be forced to update? You know what I mean? So I'm just tripping.
No, I mean, it's something to think about, man. It's something to think about that the Black Shark AI and all the other stuff that they came out with when you saw those previews, they're like, yes, this is exactly what my game is going to look like. And they're realizing now too, maybe because the game is even more popular than they expected, that it's taxing on everything. Their servers is taxing on our people's PCs. It's taxing on it. And they're like, oh crap. All right, we promise and we need to deliver, but how are we going to do this smartly? Were they hoping for people not to notice or just, honest mistake, man? But, simmers, Microsoft, don't play with simmers, man. Simmers are like the most critical people on the face of the earth, right?
Because the thing is with simmers, we're comparing things to real life. With other games, they're just like, oh, it's like fuzzy there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're picky too. Gamers in general can be picky, but with simmers and specifically, we are very, specific about how realistic things should be. And we're comparing, I remember seeing back in Alpha when they were comparing the tree heights to real life. They like have a screenshot of a guy flying a real Cessna 172 into an airfield, and he had a picture of how high the trees were, and then he showed how high the trees were flying that exact same approach on in the sim, and he was like, this ain't right. And we're like, wow, that's like the level of detail that we're holding these guys to.
That is exact. And because guess what? We do it anyway, because when we switch from Microsoft to X-Plane, we do suspend belief a little bit for X-Plane because we know that the X-Plane quality is not up there as Microsoft, right? Scenery-wise. Airplane is what keeps us there right now. Mm-hmm. Airplane is what brings it back to X-Plane all the time. It's not the scenery. So we do suspend believe, or we do make believe, great. But when we switch to Microsoft, we're holding them to a higher standard because you see it sometimes and go, holy crap, that looks good. But then the next time I'm flying at 35,000 feet and it's like, this is kind of blurry. This is like not good. I mean, somebody mentioned in chat that goes, yeah, Orbix is going to bring out like True Earth from Microsoft Flight Sim.
No, seriously though, did you guys see Orbix drop True Earth Central Great Britain?
What?
Yeah, I think it's like out now. Possibly. Wow. Either they either previewed it or it's out now. I don't know which one because nothing is Orbix, but I'm not buying it. But I'm like, how does that work exactly? Like, what are they doing with True Earth compared to what, you know what I mean? Like, I completely understand what True Earth does on X-Plane. Like, I completely get it. Okay. But I don't know how that works for Microsoft Flight Sim. How are they replacing HK just said it's out. How does that work with Microsoft Flight Sim? Are they replacing? I mean, there is Autogen to be replaced. I mean, I guess there is. Because right now in the UK, for example, in Great Britain, I mean, they have just Autogen in certain cities, so they could probably replace all that with the Orbix buildings and 3D models
Right.
and points of interest to add on to like because it's crazy thing is that Great Britain in that area already got its own world update and everything. So it
Right.
surprises me that Orbix could
Hmm.
come on top of that. Now again, that world update was completely free, and this is not, but still, it surprises me that they would expand it even more. And I'm curious because I mean, even though I'm not really interested in the UK one, because I mean, I'm just the way UK looks right now is fine with me because I don't live there. But if they were to come out with a Orbix Texas, then yeah, I'm buying that. You know what I mean? Or Orbix Florida, I might have to think about that again. So what do you think about that?
Are you saying what I'm hearing you saying? Because I remember when Microsoft dropped and we looked at it, we goes, that's it. We no longer have to buy Earth scenery or
Yeah.
download any Ortho.
Or
We're done.
download, I remember
Our
I remember sitting
our
there downloading for four
yeah.
hours Orbix True Earth Washington.
Mhm.
4 hours. Yeah, long time.
Yep.
So
Andre's saying that's Orbix landmark, not True Earth. So
no,
they're
there's
probably
another one. There's
redoing
a
it.
Trammark. There's an additional one.
Really?
I think there's an
Huh.
additional one. Did you find it? I thought you were searching it.
No, I was searching and there's a question here. It says True Earth for Microsoft Flight Sim. General discussion. It's in the Orbix system forum. I gotta read through this to
I have to
see.
see. I remember
Interesting.
seeing it somewhere.
Wow. 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 Because somebody says Microsoft needs a lot of landmarks. In many cases, I'm interested in Great Britain, and I own them for P3D, and they look very realistic. So people are wanting the stuff. You know what I
I
mean?
think
I gotta read
landmarks are
through it to see.
worth it because landmarks are VFR guides, right? Like
Right.
if you're flying over your area you're familiar with, or you want to fly something just completely visual, Microsoft looks great. It has the ortho, but in some areas it doesn't have the points of interest. It doesn't have the stadiums you're used to seeing. It doesn't have like that building or that church or whatever it is that you want to see in that area. It doesn't have that in all of the world because not everywhere has the what do you call that, photogeometry, whatever the heck it is.
Right.
So
Photogrammetry.
I think there is definitely a lane for this for sure. I'm just surprised to see it. So I don't know. I just wasn't expecting to see it personally.
Interesting. That would be interesting, man. Because we're like, hey, we don't have to have massive hard drives anymore to download Ortho on like we have to do an X-Plane. So
Yeah.
that is interesting, man. Interesting take. So definitely, man. And which brings us to another news for Microsoft Flight Sim.
And what is that?
That other news, my friend, is Vatsim.
Oh, I think
I
I
know.
just found it. I
If I
just
can
found it.
pause.
Are
Found it.
you
Hold
looking at
on.
my
Let's see.
screen? I just found it.
Yeah, there we go.
Great
Great Britain
Britain
Central.
Central.
Is it landmarks or is it ortho, so to speak?
I don't think. I doubt it's ortho. I think it's just landmarks. Wow. It's gonna be six. Right. Download size of this product is 2.72 gigabytes. 6.3 gigabytes when installed. Not sure exactly how that works. So 6 gigabytes of, I guess, some type of thing. I don't know. I'm looking at
Well,
screenshots.
put it this way: you know that there's developers out there. Any hole that Microsoft is missing, they're gonna fix.
Yeah.
They're gonna fix. And if it becomes a point where, because of the demand on people's PC and wanting the general public to be able to run the simulator at a good frame rate, and Microsoft decides, you know what, we're not going to go back to what it was. We're just going to keep it where it is as far as graphics is concerned, and you're going to get what you get at altitude. Somebody might come out with it and make it work. You never know.
Yeah.
And some people are going to say it's not necessary. Some people fly X-Plane right now with plain old textures, and they don't care. And some people go, you know what? I want the highest looking and the best looking I can get, so I'll get it. You never know. There's always that coming up. So
Agreed.
we'll see, man. But then the next piece of news was the one that I was kind of waiting to hear what
Yeah.
was going to happen here, and this is Vatsim on the Xbox. So Xbox dropped. The whole internet went crazy. We went nuts talking about it,
Yep.
and we were wondering like, is Vatsim going to go to the Xbox, and what does that mean for flying on Vatsim? Well, Vatsim came out with a statement. I have it right here on my phone, and they're basically saying that at this point, it's not going to happen. They're not ruling it out 100%, but right now, based on how the Xbox work with security and having to interface the Vatsim client and all this stuff, they're like, yeah, don't expect Vatsim on Xbox anytime soon, meaning that maybe it's 3 to 5 years. I don't know.
Oof.
So I'm guessing, is that a good thing for us, quote unquote, seasoned simmers, or is that a bad thing because you would love to have more traffic on the network from the Xbox crowd that's coming in? I mean, what do you guys think? if you're running Microsoft Flightsim on Xbox, were you looking forward to Vatsim, or is the AI ATC good enough for you, or the servers that Microsoft good enough for you? Got it. What do you guys think about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a
What do
great
you think,
question.
Blue?
I'm wondering
Yeah.
I wonder what you guys think about that. For me, I feel like it's like a heartbreak. I mean, just from my perspective and what I like in a sim is I never use the in-game ATC. It doesn't matter what sim I'm using. X-Plane never use ATC. Microsoft never use ATC. Like one of the first things I turned off when I got in Microsoft Flight Simulator was the HUD and ATC. Those are the first two things I turned off. And so with Xbox, we kind of saw it coming because even leading up to it, the question's been asked: how is Sim Connect going to work on Xbox? Like if you want to connect to some type of web thing, like whether it be Vatsim, Pilot Edge, even Valanta, Sim Toolkit Pro, all these things, Pack X, all these things use like some type of Sim Connect thing to connect your sim to a web thing, so they could take your data and use it for different reasons. And I think that's honestly one of my favorite parts about simming is some of the things that you can extend the platform with by doing that, by being able to use Sim Toolkit Pro or Pack X to add passenger sounds and stuff like that. So I feel like developers are gonna have to find a way to go beyond that connection in some way, and be able. I don't know. I don't see it happen because I think with Vatsim saying that and saying how there's like this firewall or whatever you call it that's blocking him from doing it, that's the exact same thing everybody else is going through, and it's definitely let down. I think the majority of people who are on Xbox may not care. But I think there's a lot of people who really want to get in the flight sim at the same level that we're playing it with ATC, realistically, that are getting an Xbox for the reason that it's a cheaper way to get in the flight sim. But a big problem with that now is the fact that you can't get Vatsim and you won't be getting it for a very long time. I don't see Xbox opening that up because, I mean, if you think about just the history of all console games, one of the
Right.
biggest downfalls of console games that also have a PC version is that the PC version always has the cool mods that everybody wants to use, and the console version only has like the paid DLC, some of the free ones that come through the market. So I think it's a big letdown. It sucks. I wish you could. As far as how does it affect the rest of us, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I know Vatsim is smart. Vatsim is mature now to be able to have a filter system to not allow trolls to get through their gates. And so, like, the only people who would really, want to use it are going to use it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem with, like, crazy people getting on there because they're on Xbox. Unless it's like somebody's kid who just hopped on because their dad had access. That's a different story. You can do that on
Right,
PC
right.
too. You know what I mean? So that's the thing.
And that's the thing. I put a poll in chat here to see what everyone thinks about Vatsim on the Xbox, and so far it's like 80% no, which is actually more than I thought. Because yeah, as you said, there's a lot of youngsters who watch the streams and they can't afford a high-end PC or even a mid-grade PC to play it. You know what I mean? But they have the Xbox and they would love to, as you say, start experiencing real ATC service on the online network. And it sucks for them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It would be a good way to bridge and bring those over, but as everybody in chat is saying, maybe the vast majority of the Xbox crowd will kind of bring a certain flavor to Vatsim that we probably wouldn't like. You know what I mean?
Possible.
So, I don't know. I don't know. But look,
There's other ways around it. I've seen, like, for example, Infinite Flight, which is a mobile flight simulator. There's no way to connect that to, like, well, I mean, they do have a connection thing, but there's really no way to connect that to like a VATSIM right now. But what people do,
right.
I've seen in that community, is similar to Xbox. Like, they have their own multiplayer system and platform that doesn't connect to like a VATSIM or a Pilot Edge, but they have small, I guess you can call them micro communities or groups of people and friends that create like a little ATC group where it's like, all right, we're all flying together, we're on Discord or we're on like some type of team chat, and we can do ATC for each other in a realistic manner. So I think that's a way around that. If you're into ATC and things like that, and you have a group of friends that you can do that with, that's definitely an option to kind of try to figure out. Just go on a microphone, be like, all right, I'm gonna be tower, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be ground, and then he's flying the plane. You know what I mean? So like, you can get creative that way if you really want to, and then eventually, hopefully, Vatsim will come over, or you'll come over to PC.
In my response to the comment that some of the youngsters don't have a real PC or can't afford it, somebody in chat was like, "Aviation isn't cheap." Just saying, virtually and real life.
That's true.
It
That's
isn't.
true.
It is absolutely isn't cheap. I'm looking to get a graphics card right now and looking to pay 3 times the price,
Oh
which
boy.
leads me to say my power supply is not strong enough. So I'm gonna have to actually end up buying a new power supply for the car that I want, which might lead me into going, you know what? I need something that I can overclock or whatever. Might as well end up building
Wait,
a
so
new
if you
PC.
get a new power supply, does that mean you also need to get a new cooling system?
There, there you go. So it's like the slippery slope, man.
Yeah, I want
That's
to
the
say
thing. It
back
is.
on the young kids getting on Vatsim and flying. I
Mhm.
have met some amazing young people who are like 13, 12 years old and know how to fly these planes like better than me, know how to talk to ATC better than me. Like it's amazing how like even though yes, Xbox can bring in some craziness and whatnot, but at the same time there's some people who are young and just know they love aviation and know this is what they want to do with their lives, and they just love they binge watch every single flight sim stream. They watch every realistic like real aviation pilot flying, you know what I mean? And so like they know everything at so young. Like I wish I knew that much when I was that young. But yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep. Yeah. Look, somebody was saying if they do add Xbox support, they should put it on a separate VATSIM. But nah, they don't have the resources or the volunteers to do that.
On the
I
note of prices going up, I saw something on Twitter.
Mhm.
Thrustmaster posted a statement saying that their hardware prices are all going up because of
What?
yeah, because of like I mean everything is going like prices on everything is going up in general. But I guess because
Right.
of parts or shipping, something in the pipeline, because of COVID and the lack of a lot of resources and organization, Thrustmaster has already announced that they're raising their prices, and actually, it's already in effect in Europe.
Oh,
Now, how
geez.
much that rate was been raised, I don't know. But I know
Wow.
if they're doing it, then I'm confident a lot of other companies are going to follow up and do that as well.
Wow.
And they're not
Wow.
the first.
Man.
I've seen other companies and businesses do this exact same thing, even outside of the flight sim community. So it's affecting a lot of people. I mean, even I'm not sure how much you guys know about houses. I'm actually in the market right now for a house, and the price of wood has gone up like I think 300% or some
Yeah.
crazy number. So it's really
Oh,
not a good
yeah.
time to buy a house, but I'm trying
I
anyways.
I just did that reno. It was crazy, man. A damn sheet of plywood that I used to buy back in the day for like $20 is $110. A
Yeah, it's
single
crazy.
sheet of plywood. But anyway, I won't even go there.
Let's not go
Well,
there.
that is sad news for Thrustmaster because I still haven't got my hands on the add-on for the throttle quadrant.
Oof.
Right.
I think they're
The
still sold out,
TPA.
aren't they?
Yeah, it's still sold out. It's not even available. I've been
Yeah.
looking for that thing. I wanted to add on. You could get it on eBay for $389, but I'm like, no, thank you.
You know,
I am
somebody on
good.
my Discord sent a link where you could get the add-on for like 35 bucks. He was like,
No.
he sent the, he's like, is this real? I was like, I don't know. I don't, and it was like some kind of website that ain't got nothing to do with flight sim, aviation, and nothing. They had freaking picture frames on this website, shoes, all kind of random stuff. And then they had like a Thrustmaster add-on, like just the add-on. I didn't even see the actual throttle on the website. Like, where'd you get this, and why are you selling it for $35?
My God.
So
Yeah, I would be skeptical, man. This probably
I was
comes
like,
with
I
some
don't know,
virus.
bro. Don't give me your credit card information.
Yeah, the add-on right now it's $288 I can get it
That's way
for.
that can't be right.
That
There's no
yeah,
way.
it's supposed to be half that price. And it's no, man. So it is the flight sim industry is getting expensive, man. It really is
Somebody in
getting
my chat
expensive.
just asked, do I think that they are using the pandemic as an excuse to raise the price?
I used to believe that, but a lot more going on, and we'll probably didn't want to go down this rabbit hole. Let's just say that there's a lot of people who are not going back to work and they don't want to.
Hmm.
And so a lot of the manufacturers, I've had it trying to get glass for my one of the projects I was doing here, and the lady was like, "Yeah, we can make them. We have nobody to work." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, people are not coming back because they can get the time off and get it paid and stuff like that."
And they're
So they're
getting, I know in the US, they're getting unemployment as well. So they're getting
so
paid just for
yeah,
being at home.
so so yeah, supply and demand. So I don't think I don't look. One thing I'm pleased with the flight sim community. I think that the prices for the hardware and things like that we have been fair compared to other hobbies.
Yeah, like
Ever buy a set of
racing.
golf clubs like racing? Exactly.
Or I guess
Compared
golf
to
is a different
yeah,
thing.
exactly. You know what I mean? So yeah, compared to other hobbies, the flight sim communities, hardware, Thrustmaster, Honeycomb, and people coming up, even the Turtle Beach stuff, it's decent price. It's
Actually,
decent
yes.
price for what you're getting.
Somebody in the chat just mentioned that shipping containers have actually
Mhm.
tripled in price, and that is one of the
Yeah.
reasons why a lot of things coming from overseas over here is going up. Like actually, I met a guy I used to work with. He was telling me about the story. I forgot about it, but I forgot what the lady made. She makes some kind of thing. She had her price all set, for her customers, her clients, being competitive against the market, and then they raised the container price. And now it's like, well, what did you do now? You got to raise the price, So I think that's just global.
You know why the container prices are raised? It's
Why?
that stupid show on HGTV that people are turning shipping containers into homes.
Yeah,
Have you seen that show?
I have seen it. I've seen it.
Oh man, Javier says, as far as prices is concerned, do you guys think the PMDG 737 for Microsoft Flight Sim is going to be $100 or above? Just a guess. This would be a wild speculation on our part, guys. What do we think the 737 from PMDG is going to cost? What do you think? If the DC6 costs how much? How much is the DC6?
I don't remember. Let me see.
Right, DC6 was $60. How much do we think?
The DC6 was surprisingly cheap. I was expecting to pay a lot more money for the PMDG DC6.
Yep. What do you guys think? As a matter of fact, in chat, no for Xbox Vatsim won the poll. If you guys want to know, 23% says yes, 7% says no. But what do you guys think? Or just this is wild speculation on our part. Come back to bite us in the ass at some point.
Yep.
What do you think PMDG is going to cost for that 737 when it drops? I'm going to say $89. That's gonna be my thing. I want to say $89. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm gonna say 89. Well, actually, no. Let's take that back because I think their planes in P3D was like in the $100 range. Oh my god.
Yeah, their planes were up. So if you were to get a PMDG,
right,
P3D 737, right now it would cost you $99 for the base package.
Oh.
That's just the base pack. That's $99.99. That's what I'm looking at on their website. And then once you want to expand that to get I don't know what the difference is. I guess the 600 and the 700 variant, you got to pay another $25. So that's just the prices that they're charging right now. The question is when they bring that over to Microsoft Flight Simulator, are they going to go with that exact same pricing model? Are we going to pay $100 for a 737, or are they going to drop it down because the market's larger? I think my prediction, though, I agree. I think it's going to be minimum $79, but I'm thinking it's going to be higher, like maybe $89, $99. I don't want to pay that much. I really don't. But I think it's going to be that. I think that's what it's going to be. That's what I'm expecting. I'm going into this expecting 100. If I get lower than that, I'll be like, I feel like I got a deal, But, it's hard, too, for us X-Plane people to wrap around our head is the fact that we have a Zebo 737 for free. So I was going to put that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Dougal says, let's face it, most will pay whatever they ask anyway. So don't even ponder the
that's
price.
Actually a problem.
It's true.
That is actually a problem in our community is that we will pay whatever they ask.
Yeah. Wow.
Just going to put that out there.
That is true. That is true.
Sometimes they don't deserve. Well, I'm not gonna say they don't deserve. Sometimes the product doesn't live up to what they ask. It's kind of like wine, right? Wine just because wine costs a whole bunch of money doesn't make it good wine. You can get some cheap wine, put a high price tag on it, and because we see it's wine and it's expensive, we think it's good, right? It's not that it's actually good. It's just because we see that price tag. It's actually a mental thing. I'm getting to some other stuff, but seriously, it's kind of how planes are as well. It's like, all right, that was $100 compared to this one's $60. I bet that 100 one's better. Not always.
Yep. True. Because it's $100. It's got to have like all the buttons working this time.
All the buttons turn.
All the buttons we can click and it does something. So, wow. I don't know. We'll see. He's right though. We're gonna end up getting it. I say $100.
I'm seeing 90s in the chat, 80s in the chat.
Yeah, it's true. But man, I don't know. It's one of those things that we will and do pay a lot for the things that we have in the flight sim, and we don't complain about it just because it's the only one or there's no competition or something like that. This time, honestly, I would have liked to have competition on Zebo. Well, Zebo's free. Why would you want competition? Free, good plane. But I would have loved to see P3D had a 737 competition, just for the hell of it, like real competition. What's up, Fly Guy?
I agree.
Yeah. Oh boy. Hold on. I got a donor reading here. So Fly Guy was like, they're going to make it about $150.
Oh boy.
This sim is about to be as bad as P3D.
Oh
I'd
boy.
be surprised at this rate if we get the plane before mid 2022.
Oh
And that's the
boy.
thing, man. How much patience are we going to have,
Yeah.
in waiting for the developer to make it good or for Microsoft to make the sim easy to work with to develop these planes. I don't know. That's another thing that we got to talk about is just the patience level that we're going to have in allowing Microsoft to grow for another year.
I think it's kind of proven itself, honestly. When Microsoft first
Right.
came out, we were all
Hmm.
super hyped, super. It doesn't matter who you were. Some people were very like, it's not going to be good. Like, yeah, I get that. I understand you were like that. But we were at the same time, you're secretly excited for Microsoft Flight Sim, hoping that it's everything your hopes and dreams are going to be. Microsoft comes out, it quickly shows its cards, and then you're like, all right. So I think throughout this whole year, it's shown that people have already lost patience with Microsoft Flight Sim. They've already returned back to their go-to flight sim, their X-Plane, their P3D, their
Yep.
FSX. I have people I've seen actually going back to FSX because they have like the
No.
PMDG 777 on FSX. You know what I mean? And so like
No.
I'm seriously, people are going back to their go-to sims, and so that the point is people have already lost patience. Patience is gone. So now it's like they're trying to climb back up the hill with releasing these add-ons and making the SDK better and hopefully getting people back in. I think with Xbox and its big Sim Update 5 and the performance, a lot of people were kind of coming back in, but then they're kind of trickling back out as their patients are restarting and kind of trickling out and starting over again. So I think that, yeah, how long is our patience going to last? I think it's already gone. I think it's over. I think it's ran out.
I mean, I know why I ran back to X-Plane a week after it came out, because once you fly the one or two planes that are actually airliners, I should say, not GA, because I need to differentiate that. Dougal is a GA guy,
You
and
need
the
to
GA is good.
differentiate it. GA
You
is
understand?
great. Well,
GA is great. You
let me
understand?
say, make sure great's the right
Airliners
word.
is where it's at for me, and most of the guys who watch me know that, as they wouldn't watch, right? You get over it real quick, and you want something that's functional. Or let me just say this, guys. I screw up these planes all the time. I don't use a checklist, and I know you guys in the background are like dying sometimes or laughing. But I would rather have a plane that's more than capable for me to handle than a plane that's cheesy and just easy and does nothing right. Give me the high fidelity plane and allow me to screw it up. That's what I want. A plane that I know that when a real world pilot flies it, he can go, yeah, this is good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree.
Versus some plane that half the buttons doesn't work, or you click on one switch for this IRS and all three of them clicks across the board. Like, no.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Fly Guy. Somebody actually brought up a question earlier that mentions what you said about a lot of content creators, streamers, and people who are of the interwebs will be very fast to call a plane high fidelity or study level, yet they don't or never use the actual things that make it high fidelity or study level. What do you think about that?
true. I am not going to skip myself. This guy here does that all the time. Dimitri will be shouting at me, "Hey man, go into EFB and it's got a performance calculator for landing." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just take what the FMC gives me. I'm within 5 knots, 10 knots of the ballpark." You know what I mean? Um,
Like, we'll just go direct.
yeah, I'll just go direct. Exactly. You know what I mean? Take off on the Fort Lauderdale and go direct JFK or something like that. Yeah, yeah, I do that a lot, and sometimes I wonder, like, should I be like flying these planes like down to the line and going through the checklist, or should I just keep doing what I'm doing? Then I'm like, no, I'll leave that to people who are capable of doing that properly. You understand? I never want to pretend like I could, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you're reading the chat, you get distracted. It's hard to flow it. If I'm by myself, yes, I need that extra level of realism, so I'll run through all that stuff. But if I'm looking at you guys, going left and right, I want to see what's going on. It's not going to happen, man. But they're right, though. We even use a tenth of what the plane is
We
capable of?
don't.
More than
We
likely
don't.
not.
These
Exactly.
developers spend hours, months, even years just developing certain systems that we would never even know exist or it
True.
never even attempt to try. So I completely agree. I try to dig in and go deep, but most of the time I'm just using the surface level stuff. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm
right.
usually just doing that.
But what I love to know that it's there and it's available. I love to know that every now and again, I go, you know what? Let me put a 5 mile ring around a waypoint or something, right?
Hmm.
Let me extend the runway center line by 5 miles or 10 miles. Do I use that? 1% of the time, but just the fact that it's in there, I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, Daryl, thanks, man. Appreciate that. But you know, thank you, Daryl. Daryl says he watches us for what we do. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know. It's like half realism, half no. Let's go see what can happen. But we do appreciate all the developers who put the time in to at least try their best to make most of the systems functional.
Agreed.
You understand?
I got somebody in my chat says it's not study level unless it has emergency slides.
I popped the slides on the A310 the first time
I saw that. I saw that.
I was like, well, I didn't even know it had emergency slides. It's like, wow. I think the only other airplane that has emergency slides is the 777. Is the Flight Factor 777, man.
Nobody else has slides?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like I popped the slides on something. I don't know what I pulled the emergency slides on, but I don't know what it was.
V1 said that's why TOLIS subsystems modeling in the Airbus is very, very good. Has anyone in this chat ever forced a bus into direct law? Probably not, but it's modeled. There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Another thing I personally, I don't know, it's kind of goes in and bleeds into GA2 is that I like a plane that I can break. Like I want to have this sense that if I mess up, I'm gonna break the plane, and not by break like the coding and all the, not like the bug breaking. I mean like I want an engine to go out because I didn't do something right, or I want to lose the flaps because I overspeed the flaps. You know what I mean? Like little things like that, or I want to over torque the engine and then lose the engine because I did something stupid and over torque the engine. These are things that you actually do get in X-Plane a lot, and a lot of planes they already model these things. A lot of the GA planes do model like over torquing and things like that, but nothing in Microsoft does really any of that yet. And you can just freaking red line it, hammer the throttle forward, and just have no worries. Just go flying.
Go up to 40,000 feet in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Now I would say the icing may weigh you down. I did notice the icing was modeled. I don't know if it's modeled great, but it's modeled. What are you gonna say?
Somebody says that the TOLIS got a slide mod for the doors. The TOLIS A321. You could legit add a slide mod, maybe for flight attendant training. Interesting.
I saw Microsoft added a wear and tear feature in the main menu, but I'm like, what does this even do? Like, what does this matter? Like, what does this matter? Have you noticed that in the menu? It's like, do you want to change like how old the plane is, like how old the airframe is, stuff like that. I think it may change like the performance values, like how well it climbs and something. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. They need to like explain it better, but
yeah. Gio says if you overspeed the Zebo flaps, you have no flaps. Ask me how I know. Hey, yeah, it's true. So, yeah, man. But so much. We love simming. That's why we're here all once a week, guys, to talk about everything that comes up. As I said, if you guys have any questions, just throw them in chat. But I see you guys are doing it anyway. I love that. I love the participation you guys have going on in here.
Oh yeah.
And as these things come up, I mean, we have a lots more to come, by the way. Is it next week we have our special guest?
I think we have a special guest next week.
Yeah, we have a special guest
calendar, but I'm pretty confident it's next week.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I do want to mention, and I guess it's official now, but I bought my Flightsim Expo plane ticket yesterday. So
nice.
I got it, and I got it for a freaking deal, bro. Like, I'm glad I waited. Like, I could have bought it months ago, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold off and see if it drops. And that thing dropped so low, I couldn't fast on it. So I was like, yeah, round trip.
Which airline?
Do I have to say?
Say.
I mean, you probably know.
I probably know.
You probably know.
I probably know.
I'm pretty sure everybody can guess.
I'll leave you to say if you want to. I'm doing American. I'm doing an A321 from Charlotte. So I got to go Fort Lauderdale, Charlotte over to San Diego.
I'll tell you. I'll be on the banana bus.
Spirit at Spirit Airlines.
And I'll be flying IAH to connecting in Las Vegas. That'd be my first time ever being in Vegas at all. So I have a 2-hour layover in Vegas, which I'm cool with. I'm like, hey, more flights, more travel. I'm cool with that. I'm be by myself. My wife's not going. And then from Vegas to San Diego, and the exact same on the way back. So yeah, it's gonna be dope. But
you can gamble in a terminal, man. As soon as you get off the airplane.
Definitely won't, but that's good to know.
It's true. You definitely can. Awesome, man. So expect those takeoff and landing videos, guys.
I still gotta post the takeoff and landing videos for my trip to Colorado. I feel bad for not posting those.
But here's what I did strategically, by the way, for my flights, both going and coming. I chose my seat in advance to sit on the north side, the right side of the airplane coming to San Diego.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. The downtown
I chose the
side.
left side.
The left side, yeah.
Yeah, I chose the left side.
The left side coming in, and then going back, I chose the right side because it's going to make that right turn and go north. So,
I'll tell you, man, us simmers, and we do these flights in the sim all the time, so we know exactly where we want to be sitting. So, bro, I was super strategic on my seats. I was like, all right, on the way there, it's going to be early morning, so I'm going to get that behind the wing shot on the left to catch the sunrise. Was the right? I can't remember which one it was. And then on the second leg, I'm gonna get that ahead, the front of the engine shot, and then coming back, I'm gonna alternate. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I'm getting this seat, this seat, and this seat. I even did my research to find out what seat number I need to be at. But window seats both ways, baby.
Wait till you break out the Navigraph charts on the
terminal.
plane.
Yep, I'm doing
the terminal.
Yep.
And listen to liveatc.net and listen to your plane before you take
I
off.
got the app, bro. Yep, I did that last time. I was listening the whole way.
But, yeah, man. Wow. What time is it?
It's time to go.
Yeah, we got to talk next week, guys. Real quick. Next week, talking about Flightsim Expo, we're gonna have a special guest on next week. And of course, we'll be going over more Flightsim shenanigans and all the other stuff going on. But this has been a good week. What you got coming up, Blue? What you got coming up?
Like I said, tomorrow I am planning to attempt a long haul. I don't want to say where yet because it might fall out that I have to go somewhere else. So I'm going to attempt to do a long haul. It should hopefully be posted in the next few hours. But that is my plan for Friday. And then next week I should be back either Monday or Wednesday. I don't want to say yet because that's the part I'm trying to iron out. I'm having some technical issues right now, so I want to make sure that before I announce that I don't disappoint anybody. So yeah, I just know it will be a long haul. It will be early as well, so it'll be about 2 hours earlier than I usually stream. So if you guys want to join me, come through.
Tomorrow for me, I'm seeing if it's Friday. It's usually the FNO in US, which I'm basically banned from. Well, I'm not really banned from the FNO, but yeah,
you're basically banned from FNO. Yeah.
But I'm wondering if I should do a US. I have a choice of doing a flight in the United States or do a flight over in the Middle East. Aha. A developer reached out to me with a Middle East scenery and goes, "Hey man, check this out for me." And I told him I would do it Monday, but I'm wondering if I should just do it tomorrow, switch it up a little bit, do a Middle East flight. But the big news is Sunday, guys. Sunday is SimWing support giveaway stream. Basically, it's SimWing support give back stream. It's a huge stream that's gonna. I guess it's kicking off probably with me and then V1 Sim some days later, and Quit Pilot and a bunch more other people. But we're gonna give it away from SimWings directly through all the donations you guys gave to SimWings. They're giving everything back. I think up to $500 in giveaways,
that's
man. It's
amazing.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
That's gonna be on Sunday. I think believe it or not, hold on a second. I didn't tell you guys about this. I told Blue about this. Let me just check my calendar to make sure if what I'm about to say, Sunday is going to be a busy day. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, I am going to be a guest or co-hosting a show that broadcasts in Britain. It's a show from what are their names, Blue?
Sky Blue Radio.
Sky Blue Radio. They invited me to come on to sit with them for an hour, play some music, and do some talking for about an hour. Sky Blue Radio. So that's Sunday morning about 9 a.m. Eastern time. Sunday afternoon about 1 or 2. I haven't planned the time yet. Is when the SimWings giveaway is going to happen. So Sunday is going to be very busy. But I'll drop a link in the YouTube and let you guys know what's going on. But you guys will know in advance exactly. Just kind of confirm some things, man. But that's what's going to happen on Sunday. So stay tuned for the SimWing stuff. You guys want to be a part of it. You want to be there because it's going to be crazy. So that's what's coming up. And then next week we start all over again, rinse and repeat, man. So
yes.
You guys are the best. You guys are the best, man. Thank you guys for showing up on a regular basis, hanging out with us, doing the chat with us, inputting your opinions. We love your opinions because that's what we do here. And thanks for hanging out, brother. Blue.
Bruh, it's been good. Great conversations today. You know, we love this stuff, so I feel like it's just easy to talk about. Thank you guys for coming out and enjoying the conversation, getting your feedback about what you thought about Xbox, Vatsim, all that good stuff. So guys, next week, same time, same place, same two faces. Actually, we might have a special guest, so it might be 3 faces. We don't know. You have to come and find out. But guys, make sure you go and make sure you support the streams, and don't just support us. Go support all the other streamers as well, man. A lot of people out here doing their thing and just enjoying it. We all love the same hobby. We're all in it together. You know, we all love the same thing. We have that thing in common. So you know, we always stop through and check out other people's live streams as well and check out their content. So enjoy flying, guys. Have a great, what is it, Thursday? We'll see you tomorrow. And until next time, guys, remember you have 3 choices. Give up, give in, give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. We will see you guys next time on a Blue Experience.
Out.
We out.
Run the track. Later. Bye-bye. Cool.